about this last episode of 1,000 Pound Sisters. We saw the whole family jump in the car and they decided to go swimming at this lake. And this lake water was green as hell. Like, I would have been scared swimming in that lake water because you can't see anything that's underneath you. Like, probably have fish nibbling at your leg hairs the whole time while you're trying to swim. And Tammy was actually getting around pretty good. I was surprised seeing her actually get out. She was swimming around in a floaty, and that is a big 180 for Tammy, because usually Tammy's a negative Nancy and just throws her hands in the air and refuses to participate in whatever kind of physical activities they're doing. But she's actually getting out there, and it seemed like she was having the most fun out of everybody. And then they all sat down and they're all talking, catching up, and they're talking about how they feel like Amy's moving too fast with her boyfriend. Everyone was talking about where their love lives stand, but Tammy was being awfully quiet. So finally everyone looked at Tammy and said, well, what's going on with you? What's your current situation? And she said, well, I have been talking and seeing someone, but I haven't told you guys because I don't think you guys are really gonna like it, because I know typically you guys aren't for this. And they're like, who? And she's like, well, it's a girl, and I know how you guys don't really like that. Amanda got triggered when she heard this. She's like, hold up. I never said I had anything against that. I have a gay son, so it's obviously not an issue for me. Then we catch up with Amy, and she's with her man, Brian. And you guys had to correct me in my comments. I was saying she's been with him for 6 months. They've only been together for 6 weeks and they're already talking about moving in with each other. Like, what the hell? Like, Amy has not learned her lesson whatsoever, because literally she was just with this guy before Brian. Well, she was with that one guy that had like all those like crazy weird stalking charges, like that guy with the glasses, the white dude. But then she dated this guy pictured here before him, and she kind of did the same thing she's doing with Brian. She started dating this guy, then there was rumors this guy moved in with her, and I think it was Tammy. It was one of the sisters, and I guess Amy and this guy were fighting nonstop and were on the verge of getting kicked out. She moved this guy in hella fast, had him playing stepdaddy to her kids and helping her with the kids, and then did all this just to turn around and have things fall apart. And then she sat there and was coming out and acting like this guy was just a user. And she just moved way too fast. Like, she's lucky she was able to get him out, because usually in some states, if you let somebody spend the night with you, even one night or just a few nights, they're legally considered a resident, and you have to go through the whole eviction process to get them out. Trust me, I learned that the hard way with an ex-boyfriend. But she was able to get this guy out, and now she's with Brian and trying to move in with Brian after 6 weeks. Like, girl, what fantasy land are you living in? I understand, like, when you go through a big heartbreak or divorce, a lot of people just get so excited once they're in a good relationship that they just want to rush things so fast. But they probably really haven't even had a real fight yet or seen each other's dark sides. And until you get to that point, you really do not know a person. There's no way that Brian has shown his full 100% true self, and she knows everything there is to know about him to feel 100% safe about moving her and her children in with this point. And it doesn't matter how she feels. She needs to think about what's best for her children. And it's not good for her children to continuously have a revolving door of all these men getting introduced to them. Like, I would be waiting like at least a month or two, at least, I don't know, I'd be waiting a couple months if that was Amy before I just go and introduce my kids to these guys. And I thought it was just Amy getting all excited, talking about possibly moving in with Brian. But Brian's pushing pretty hard for this too, and I think he's the one planting these seeds in her head. They go out on a date, and he sits down with her, and he's like, yeah, babe, so I know you told me I gotta baby-proof the house, if I ever want you and the boys to live with me. So I'm started baby proofing the house. It's not fully baby proof, but I'm in the process of getting there. And I want you and the boys to move in with me, even though we've only been together for 6 freaking weeks. And Amy, she didn't spend that much time thinking about it at all. She literally only spent 30 seconds before she was like, yeah, you know, we got to do some things, but yeah, we'll go ahead and move in with you. Amy is taking such a huge risk because I'm pretty sure she bought the house that she's living in. So she's going to turn around, sell this house, and sell this place that she's had for years now that she thought she was going to live forever and raise her boys. And she's going to sell it and move in with Brian. And what is going to happen if he turns around and breaks up with her tomorrow? Then she's going to be homeless until she's able to get into another place. And plus, when she does finally get another house, I'm sure she's not going to get as good as an interest rate as she had when she first bought the house years ago, as she did buy it. So it's just a huge risk for her. But I also think that Amanda is pushing her out the door of her own house. Amanda is staying with Amy, and it was only supposed to be a temporary thing. But now she's got pretty comfortable, and she stayed there for months, and she has no real plan, it seems like, to move out anytime soon. It seems like she's going to milk this as long as she can. And not only is Amanda living there, but she's got her big ass sons and all his friends there all day, every day. And then she's sitting around all day just nagging Amy about her kids. Like, I understand you want to, like, give Amy advice, but this is Amy's home. You're already interrupting her day-to-day life by being there and having all these people all up in her house. You don't need to sit there and add all this extra stress by constantly micromanaging her. I would just be sitting back and being quiet and just trying to be as invisible as possible so I don't feel like I'm in Amy's way. And I feel like that's encouraging Amy even more to hurry up and move because she just wants to get rid of Amanda and her sons. Oh, hell no. It's already enough having one extra person there, but having another person and their kids, and then you don't know what friends they're going to have over any day. So you could never just feel comfortable in your own home because you're always wondering who's coming around. No, that's too much, especially with teenage boys. They eat like crazy. I sat there and I used to live with teenage boys. When I lived with one of my old friends, she had teenage sons. Oh my gosh, I would go shopping and they would eat through $100 worth of snacks in just a few days. It was crazy. I couldn't keep up. Amanda tries to say, well, I'm helping Amy and I think she needs me more than I need her right now. I think that's what just Amanda's telling herself to make herself feel better about the situation. But I think Amy would be just fine without Amanda. Yeah, she might be a little overwhelmed, but she was doing it before Amanda came there. She's going to be doing it just fine afterward. Then Amy and her boyfriend Brian decided to pack their bags and make the long 3-hour drive to this Tennessee safari park with Amy's 2 boys. And it's like a drive-through petting zoo where you can like feed animals through the windows. They come up to you. It's like a real hands-on experience. And Amy's like, oh my gosh, that would be some amazing like little family time. So they all go. They're having a really good time. The boys are loving it. Amy's loving it. Her man's recording her on the phone the whole time. And right when he turns his phone away for 2 seconds, Amy was feeding this camel, and she starts to like lean her cup away from the camel, and I think the camel was trying to get the cup back, so he bit into her arm and took a big old chunk out her arm. Like, I knew she got bit, but I didn't know she got bit that bad. She straight had fat, like yellow fat hanging out. He even ripped some of the fat out that was hanging out and hanging on for dear life. It looked like it really hurt. And Amy started freaking out. She's like, oh my God, am I going to lose my arm? What do I do? And Brian, he kicked into fight or flight mode, and he just starts driving really fast through the park trying to find help. Eventually they find someone. They call an ambulance to come help her. What's crazy to me is the owner has came out and denied that Amy got bit by a camel after this whole story went viral, when it's literally on camera. I mean, you don't see the camel actually like bite right into her. But when he pans over, you see the camel biting into her arm. Like, you don't see it right before, but you see him latched on. So there's no denying that that camel took a chunk out of Amy's arm. I think the owner is just trying to cover his ass so he doesn't get sued. But I was looking through some of the reviews, and out of 5 stars, they are rated 4.7 out of 5, which isn't a bad rating at all. And I went and looked at some of the negative reviews to see if other people mentioned being bit at that park. And I've covered some of these reviews in a past video, but there's numerous people who say they've been bit by the ostriches. A few people said they were bit by the camels. Someone said that her son was bit by one of the prairie dogs, and there's like blood spraying out of his finger. But I guess there are signs that even said not to touch the prairie dogs, and he went ahead and did it anyways. And I did notice a few bad reviews they received because people were calling them out for denying that Amy got bit, even though they pretty much had it on camera. And so Amy ends up going to the hospital, and while she's at the hospital, the police walk in and they start reading her rights, and she's like, what is going on? And they said that she needed to have someone come pick up the boys. And Amy's like, why can't Brian watch the boys? And apparently Brian was arrested. And Amy was like, what the hell happened? And she claims that Brian got busted with marijuana. Then we saw a sneak peek for next week's episode where all the family's talking about sitting her down and having an intervention with her and talking about how Amy's hit rock bottom and that she's facing up to 30 years. I'm like, how is she facing up to 30 years for some damn marijuana? Like, marijuana is actually illegal in the state of Tennessee. It's only allowed for medical use and only in certain cases. But the thing is, according to the arrest reports, marijuana isn't the only thing they got busted with. They also had mushrooms on them. And I think Amy just didn't want to admit that on national TV because it's not going to look good on her as a mother driving around in the car with her kids with mushrooms. I mean, I think they said they found them in the back seat. And the kids could have easily got into them. I mean, they were contained in their car seats. But say if they let the kids out of the car seats and if they weren't paying attention, I could have just grabbed a mushroom, popped in his mouth. The next thing you know, he's tripping balls. So they ended up getting busted with marijuana, mushrooms, and they were facing 2 drug charges apiece. And they ended up arresting the both of them. And Amanda ended up having to come pick up the kids. Of course, the whole family's pissed, and I'm sure Amy just told the family at first that it was just marijuana too until they found out from all the magazines and publications that got a hold of the arrest reports like TMZ. It's like, Amy, you have help. You have Amanda, you have Tammy, you have other people who can help watch the boys for you. So if you want to go out and have a night tripping balls on mushrooms, then you can do that without the kids. It's so irresponsible to be driving around in another state doing that. And she's lucky she didn't get in trouble for bringing the drugs across state lines. But I guess I'm assuming that Brian probably was trying to take responsibility for those items, and maybe that's why they didn't get in trouble for that, because I think he's originally from Tennessee, but don't quote me on that. That's the only reason why I'm assuming they didn't get that charge along with the other charges they got. And then we saw Tammy go and see the doctor with Chris, and Tammy pretty much learned she cannot get the surgery, the skin removal surgery, until she quits vaping. She thought that she was really doing something because she quit vaping, was just doing the nicotine free vapes, but even then that's not good for you when you're trying to heal from surgery. So they told her that she has to completely kick those. She's definitely making progress. I will give her that. She's so close, but not close enough. So hopefully Tammy can pick this skin removal surgery over smoking and just at least kick it for a few months. And then Chris revealed that his wife now wants to get surgery because she's struggling keeping up with Chris, and she wants to have a baby with Chris, which I was shocked. I thought the kids that Chris had was kids that he had with his wife. I thought him and his wife had been together since like they were young kids, but apparently not. But that is it for this video, guys. It's pretty much all I can think of. Tammy went out on a date with her girlfriend, and her girlfriend was receiving a little bit of backlash because she was telling Tammy, oh, I want you to buy me some bowling shoes. And people are like, oh my God, she's a user. Watch out for her. I don't know. I got to see a little bit more of her before I can make a fair assessment of her. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.